And now I'd like to welcome Jake Berman, Director of Sales with Prodoscore. Jake, the floor is now yours.
Hey everyone, good to meet you. My name is Jake Berman. I am very excited to tell you all about Prodoscore. We are hyper focused on using AI to help staffing firms maximize their greatest asset, which is your people. AI to us really isn't here to replace your people. It's really here to maximize how they work. By analyzing large amounts of information, AI can give leaders a data-driven way to manage the people, moving beyond gut feelings to real insights on engagement, tool usage, and productivity. Here at Prodoscore, we're helping staffing firms use AI to identify which tools drive the most impact, accelerate new hire onboarding, and giving recruiters and sales teams the data that they need to perform at their best. The result? Smarter people management, stronger tool adoption, and a measurable boost in productivity, all leading to greater profitability. In one of our case studies with our staffing firm, Pangea 2, they needed to find a better way to understand how time was being spent by their employees. With Prodoscore and AI, they were able to identify trends that helped them decipher high-performing behaviors, detect disengagement early and remedy it, and better align their coaching to the needs of their employees. The good news is that staffing firms like yours are sitting on a gold mine of data. Think of all the data that your company has insight into in your tech stack with your employees, your customers. The bad news is that you need a data science team to really be able to kind of decipher all of that data. It's really sitting in different tools, it's in different areas. And so you'll need a team to not only aggregate it, but to analyze it for actionable insights and trends. And that's where Prodoscore comes in. We will aggregate all of that disparate data amongst your tech stack, and we'll show you the important insights based on employees, roles, departments, and across the organization. Think about being able to look at the data you own all in one place, using AI to decipher what it means for your company, and then being able to take actionable steps with it. That's powerful. Now, the best part is that it's easy to get started. We can start pulling data within 15 minutes, keeping it simple for you and your teams. And then once we're up and running, we'll offer a dedicated customer success manager, copious amounts of training at the levels that you desire, the highest level of cloud security, and even access to Prodoscore's data science team. But why does this all matter? Why do our staffing firms who are our customers desire and need this type of visibility? So one such reason is that on average, an employee is active for about 3 hours a day. That might seem shocking to some of you, but when you really think about it, it's probably accurate. Between the time that they're taking to get started on a project, finish a project, take their lunch, talk with people at the water cooler, etc., there's very little time that they're actually at their computer doing the productive work that we expect. But what if you could find just one more hour of productivity to add to their day? 5 extra hours a week, 20 extra hours a month, that's going to add up. And most importantly, with the time that they are active and with the time that we can add to it, are they focused on the right activities during that time? With Prodoscore, our customers have been able to pinpoint flight risk early, fundamentally increase productivity within their teams, and expand their tech adoption, which we know is a high ticket item, by up to 300%. So let's take a dive into what this looks like in the tool. First, we're going to look at how Prodoscore can help you change the way you manage your people through data, with a complete picture and visibility into how they work, regardless of their location. So what does that look like within Prodoscore? Well, when we come into Prodoscore and look at the employee dashboard, what we'll see is all of the employees in the specified user roles that we should have access to. We'll see information about their managers, their scores, and their performance trend over the period of time that we have selected, in this case, the last 7 days. If we want to get more granular on a specific employee, all we have to do is select them. Now, when we look at Emily, we can see that she is a 68 average over the past 7 days with a downward trend of about 5%. We're also able to see this mapped out over the past several weeks to see how consistent Emily is. When we scroll to the bottom, we're able to see things like Emily's most productive and least productive workday, and also her biggest increase and decrease in tool usage. In addition to that, we're also able to see how Emily is interacting with all of the business tools that your company has provided. We'll see that as a recruiter, Emily is spending much of her time interacting with the Bullhorn platform, which is great. We're also able to see that from specific websites, she's doing a lot of sourcing from websites like Indeed, LinkedIn, and ZipRecruiter, which is very appropriate for the recruiter role. Now, if we switch roles and go look at an employee like Steve, who is on our business development or sales team, we'll see a little bit of a different picture. We'll, of course, see his score and his trending over time. We'll see his most productive and least productive workdays, but the tool usage will tell us a very different story. We can see that his activities in Bullhorn are much lower than Emily's were, but he's spending a majority of his time in the HubSpot tool, which is much more appropriate for somebody of his role. When we look at his website duration and usage, we're able to see that he is spending his time on sales-specific tools like ZoomInfo, LinkedIn, and others that are much more specific and usable for the sales role. Now, all of this information can be used and digested to give you different types of insights. One of those insights would be our workplace productivity tool. What workplace productivity does is give you insight into the scoring differences based on their work location, either in office or remote. At the top here, we can see for information for the entire organization. We can then filter it by employee, user role, or manager. And then we can even look at it by the individual employee. So if we look at an employee like Hashan here, Hashan has a 71 in office and a 39 remote. It's clear to me with this data that Hashan would be a much more productive and beneficial employee if he had spent more time in office. Alternatively, if we look at an employee like Jessica, we're able to see that she is a 55 in office and an 81 remote. So this might be an employee that we can allow work remotely more often. So as you can see with Prodoscore and our ability not only aggregate this data, but interpret it with AI, we're able to give you the ability to make data-driven decisions, see the complete picture, and give visibility independent of their work location. So what does that look like? So let's listen real quickly to how one of our customers at Core Medical uses Prodoscore for just that.
This insight right here, when I can see 2 down weeks in a row for both people, it was issues at home that they were never going to bring to me and complications they were having that it was starting to impact their job. We saw it on the scores, we got ahead of it, we were able to give them some support and address it and save situations that, potentially 2 years ago could have ended much differently. Yeah. This insight.
So now let's look at how employees themselves can use Prodoscore to boost productivity for their workdays. When a recruiter logs into Prodoscore, they'll be able to see insights specific to them. Here we're looking at Rebecca. Rebecca can see that she has a score of 81, trending up 1%, compared to the average of her team, which is a 49, trending up 4%. She can also see that she's a 78 in office and is her 83 when she's remote. If we scroll to the bottom, Rebecca can see how many activities she's doing by tool compared to the average of her team. When we scroll back to the top, we'll have some AI digestion that's able to gain insights from all of the data points that Prodoscore pulls in. Here we'll show Rebecca's achievements, as well as some recommendations for improvement. Prodoscore enables a bottom-up approach in increasing productivity, whereas the vast majority of this has been historically handled top-down. We're able to visualize an objective blueprint for success and even analyze that data to better explain to employees what's going well and where improvements can be made. Let's hear from Core Medical one more time.
Yeah, I've got my person at number 1 there. They love staying at number 1. They will continue to drive their score up if they see themselves slip down to number 2. But then you've also got the person down here at the bottom. They come in and say, oh, I didn't have a great day today. Today I need to be able to set that up. It doesn't take management from having to come in and tell them like, I've got.
So I hope that I've been able to give you a very quick view into how Prodoscore is using AI and data to revolutionize the way that staffing firms are managing their people and affecting their bottom line. I'd love to spend some time with you guys, giving you a deeper dive on how Prodoscore could benefit your firm and your teams. Please feel free to reach out to me to schedule a demo. I appreciate your time. And we'll also be at State Staffing World in Orlando. We'll have a booth there and would love to see you there as well. But thank you all for your time.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. Questions for you. First, can I see trends or adoption of specific tools and who are power users?
You absolutely can. So we look at all of the tool usage activity based off of person. That's where it starts. So we can look at it individually by that specific person, but then all of that data will roll up as well. So if you do want to find a power user to use as a champion or a teacher for the rest of the organization, that's a great use case. But we can also use it to look at, okay, is the recruiting team still using this tool as much as we need, as we expected? Are we getting the ROI from it? Because our renewal's coming up, for example. We've also have a lot of staffing firms undergoing ATS changes, and they want to be able to see with data the retirement of the old ATS and the adoption of the new ATS, and hopefully see the efficiencies they were hoping to gain by adopting that new tool.
All right, excellent. We've got a question here in the chat panel. What's the possibility of companies using Prodoscore leading to it says higher employee turnover rate?
Yeah, so I'm gonna assume I'm gonna try to digest that a little bit. I'm gonna assume we're thinking of that from like a culture perspective. So what Prodoscore focuses on is being employee friendly. One thing that we do to make sure we're doing that is we're only connecting to the business tools. So we're only connecting to your Office suite, your CRM, your ATS, phone system, and things of that nature. We're not looking at any personal data. So we're not able to see if they're on Facebook or what their screen time is and things like that. We're looking at just what's pertinent to the company and also data that the company already has. What Prodoscore is then doing is we're aggregating and digesting that information so that you guys can action from it. We have not seen with any of our customers over the past 7 years and 80 plus thousand seats on the platform, any big revolt or pushback. And then as we saw in the video with Michael Breslin, it gets adopted by the employees very well, where they use it to look at, okay, how did I do yesterday? How did I do last week? How am I doing compared to the rest of the team? So it becomes a very positive tool from the C-suite all the way down to the frontline worker.
So another question that came in that you just touched on, but maybe you have more to add, but who is typically the main user at staffing firms of this type of data?
Yeah, so what we've tried to do with Prodoscore is build in the insights for any level of the organization. So if you're somebody in the C-suite who's looking to get more big picture org-wide level information, we have dashboards and insights that will cater specifically to you. So think about things like your workplace productivity or team engagement or overall usage of a tool. When we look at the people leaders themselves, managers, they're using it to do very granular research into their employees about how they should coach them up better. Who are my A players and why are they my A players? Why is my C player struggling? When I bring on a new hire, how can I help them ramp up as quickly as possible? And then our employees, the frontline workers, they're using it on a daily basis to go, how did I do yesterday? Was I as productive as I thought? And where are those areas for improvement?
All right. Thank you so much, Jake. That is all the time we have today. Do you have any final remarks or anything you'd like to
Oh, I
leave our
appreciate
attendees
the
with?
time. Appreciate the time for everyone. There's a lot more to Prodoscore we weren't able to show today, so we'd love to do a personalized demo, and then we'll see you all at Staffing World.